Warning! Spoiler alert. The following video will contain spoilers from the Legends of Tomorrow episode titled Left Behind. Also, this video will be containing language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised. So if either of this offends you, or you don't want to be spoiled or ruin anything for you, stop watching now. Hey guys, Dave here. This is my second review video today. I'm not in my greatest headspaces right now. I'm doing better than I was earlier this week, but I'm still got a long way to go. And it's kind of appropriate considering something happened this week that Wentworth Miller, our favorite guy that plays Captain Cold on Legends of Tomorrow, he was part of an internet meme where it showed him skinny from Prison Break, and later he put on some weight with the caption, "When you get out of prison and discover McDonald's Monopoly." Wentworth actually came on to social media, and wrote a very heartfelt letter of what happened, about how he's been depressed, suicidal, he turned to food for comfort, and these guys tried to body shame him, and he's like, big fucking deal. So I turned to this. I wanted to kill myself. I didn't feel like I was valued. But he turned his life around. He's since then spoken about it. He's put himself out there. And he pretty much just slut-shamed the shit out of these stupid fucking paparazzo that made the meme or whatever. And it's kind of funny. I mean, I never really got into watching Prison Break, but I hear he did great in that. And Wentworth, of course, he plays a great charismatic villain, who I love to hate on The Flash and Legends of Tomorrow. But getting a peek at the man behind the image, Wentworth, I wrote to you on Twitter and Facebook about this. Given that I'm also someone that faced a lot of the same demons as far as for depression and suicidal thoughts, thought about it again this week. Believe me, man, I can sympathize with you, and my heart goes out to you. And I'm glad that you're able to find something positive about it. I'm glad you're able to, pick yourself up. And I gotta tell you, man, you may play a bad guy I love to hate, but seeing the person behind it, if I ever see you at a convention or out and about or whatever, I owe you a hug. So that's out there for you, man. Like I said in my other video here, given that, someone like myself has dealt with depression and suicidal thoughts, if you are someone in that position, call the suicide prevention hotline. Talk to someone. There are people out there that want to talk to you, even if you don't feel like you're worth it. And as bad as it feels, there is someone out there that wants to help. There are friends, there's family members. So you're not abandoned, even if you feel like you are. Which, that really hit home that way to me. Anyway, so we pick up where we left off the last episode. Kronos is boarded the ship, taken the Wave Rider, overrid the computer, and left Kendra, Sarah, and Ray in 1958. Well, eventually, since it shows that they've never really come back, our three stranded heroes decide to start making a life for themselves. After a while, Sarah gets the heck out of there and goes to somewhere she feels like she can belong, but they're not really sure where that would be. But Kendra and Ray make the most out of it. Ray becomes an instructor at an Ivy League university. He's there having a life with Kendra. I mean, he's an instructor. It's really cool. It's very Silver Age in that regard, and I thought it was cool. They spent up 2 years in the past, and eventually Ray, even after trying to get a time beacon to work and unable to reach the Wave Rider, eventually, he even tries to propose to Kendra. But, wouldn't you know it, around this time, this is when the Wave Rider ends up getting itself recorrected. The jump ship is taken off with Captain Cold and Kronos. No one's really sure why. Eventually, Rip and the gang come back to 1960 where they pick up on the time beacon. Ray doesn't get to propose at all. And Kendra is ready to go back into the mode where she was when the ship left. Ray's feeling like, well, I was happy with the life we were making. What's going on there? And Kendra just wants to kind of put it behind her. We end up finding something out about this episode called time drift. I'll go into that more later. But meanwhile, while this is going on, Kronos has captured Captain Cold, and turns out one of the internet possibilities actually came true, and it was revealed that Captain Cold did not, in fact, kill Heatwave, and the Time Masters picked him up, retrained him over apparently lifetimes, and turned him into Kronos. So now he wanted revenge against Snart and the crew of the Wave Rider. It was kind of frightening, but also seeing them becoming more eloquent and more driven actually makes them an interesting character, that's for sure. Eventually, though, we get the crew trying to find Sarah again, and this time we find that she has gone back to Nanda Parbat, where she has once again become a member of the League of Assassins. We even get to see Talia al Ghul as a young girl in here. And she's really picking up and becoming dedicated to the League. Eventually, the heroes try to break in to rescue her, but she ends up calling the guards, and she's in complete brainwash mode. Eventually, Rip explains the whole time drift thing, that the longer you're in a different time zone, apparently you become acclimated to it and you feel like you're a part of it. And that may be what happened to her. It's also upsetting because Kendra apparently, for 2 years, hasn't been able to hawk out. Ray thought it was because she didn't want to, but it looks like she just wasn't able to, and maybe she actually got some time drift too. Eventually, though, they figure on using their knowledge of League law to try to snap Sarah out of it. Eventually, Rip tried to challenge Ra's al Ghul for trial by combat, but instead, Ra's selects Sarah, and Rip ends up nominating Kendra. She's pretty sure she can get through to her. Meanwhile, Kronos ends up picking up on this and heads to Nanda Parbat. So the big fight's happening, trying to reclaim Sarah's humanity. Kendra finally gets her powers back. There's a lot going on in here that I just looking at this, I'm like, you're altering the timeline, you sons of bitches. Why are you doing this? Oh, God. But anyway, eventually they manage to snap Sarah out of it. And it's just in time because here comes frickin' Kronos blasting away. They're trying to shoot at him with arrows and swords and stuff. He's just, frickin' laser blasting shit. Meanwhile, while they're trying to deal with him and trying to, incapacitate Kronos, Snart manages to bust through the railing, still cuffed, gets his cold gun, and I think he was trying to freeze his cuffs off, but ends up zapping his hand frozen. He ends up shattering his own hand. Fuck! In order to break out, and just in time when they're getting ready to kill Kronos, he says, don't kill him. And he ends up revealing who he is. This is a big revelation to everybody, and it's just kind of scary as hell. Eventually they ended up putting Kronos in the brig, and there he decided not to kill Mick. I mean, apparently Snart just wanted to let them think that he had killed him, and it apparently didn't take much. And this has got the crew convinced that they want to try to rehabilitate him. They want to try to get through to Mick, to get through the brainwashing. Particularly those that have gone through brainwashing or those that have died and come back. They see this as a chance to try to reach the man behind the monster. Meanwhile, they also figure out that the best chance to try to get to Savage is now in the 22nd century, about 25 years before the big invasion happens. So, now they're heading to the future. So, it's an interesting episode, and I gotta admit, I mean, it's definitely... When it comes to a show that takes chances and risks, Legends of Tomorrow is definitely a big one up there. They got an interesting drama and dynamic, but they keep changing the fucking timeline. Yes, they can apparently trust Ra's al Ghul to keep their secret until the frickin' future, but... Oh, God, it is just some sloppy shit at times. It's just... And I saw a synopsis of another upcoming episode later this season. It's just going to be sloppy. Time rates. We need fucking time rates. Anyway. Was it a good episode? Yes, it was good. And it's especially important to check out, especially after the last couple episodes when we thought what happened with Mick. But it's going to be compelling. We're going to get to see, will Mick ever get reformed? Will he ever will we ever get a better Heat Wave, if not a completely reformed one, so he's not a villain anymore? I don't know. I mean, in the comics, he did actually reform for a while, but he's never gone through the crap that he has in the show, so I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. So anyway, like I said, this has been a week where reality has kind of bled into our fantasy life, and, you know, like I said, Wentworth's able to go through this shit and go through it and realize that, yes, he's definitely making a contribution. He's entertaining a lot of people. Then, yeah, so can I, definitely. And, I know that my stuff isn't the usual high entertainment value stuff. I try to just be candid. I try to put myself out there to be honest. And if something bad's happening with me, I'll let you guys know. If something good's happening, I'll let you know, because I'm being honest about it. And honestly, this was not the greatest week. And this is why my reviews got delayed a few days. Fortunately, my schedule this week is not going to be looking much better. We have to wait 3 freaking weeks until we get new Flash again. I think we're going to continue on with Legends of Tomorrow this week too, so at least we still have that. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see where things progress from here. And all I can say is that if you guys have any kind of crap going on, people do care. Even if you don't feel like they do, people do care. And even if you feel like a monster, if you feel like you're irredeemable or just worthless, you are of value. You do have people that care about you. You do have people that want the best for you. And that's why I think this episode actually kind of resonates with me, because, like I said, with what happened with Wentworth, the key about trying to redeem Mick, it's, touching in that regard. So I liked it, and I hope you guys do too. So what did you guys think? Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and hopefully sometime in a few days I'll be back to whatever counts as my old lovable self. Until next time, Dave signing off. Peace, yum yum.